Hey, everybody. Welcome to another episode of PinPoints. I'm Bernardo. I'm here in Portugal, PinMeTo Portugal and Spain. And also, I am here joined by Malin Dotevall from our office in Malmö. How are you, Malin?
Hi, Bernardo. I'm very well, thank you. How are you
Th-
today?
I'm very well. I'm very happy that we had the chance to do our first episode, and the first episode gave us we had rave reviews about that, and since the feedback was so amazing, we thought to do another episode, but this time it would be about actually reviews. What do you think about that?
I think it's a very exciting theme. Yeah,
Yeah.
so I'm really excited about today.
Molly, you know that reviews are very important for businesses. They give some sort of an unbiased opinion about the business from customers, actual customers that went there and gave an honest feedback that is good or bad. And companies should actually address that feedback, regardless of if the rating is good or not. What I wanted to ask you first is what are location reviews? What do they? What are they about? Why they exist?
Yes, of course, there's different types of reviews. So we have product reviews where people let a company know what they think about a chair or a jacket or a product. And
Exactly.
then we have business reviews, which is regarding a brand or a company as a whole. And then, of course, we have the location reviews, where people have actually been to a physical place, could be a restaurant or a store or a gym, and they review that actual place and whether it's good or bad.
Yeah, we should actually always address them. We should never leave a client without an answer. And that's where branding comes in, and that's where it's so important for companies to grow their businesses actually and to improve their businesses based on these reviews. What do you think are the benefits of having I mean, reviews out there for or places where people can go and just write about their experiences? What do you think what are the benefits for businesses to have actually reviews? Branding, in terms of locations, what do you think?
So the benefits of having reviews, I don't think a company can decide whether they want to have reviews or not. I mean, people will always have opinions, and there's some networks where you can't switch off the function, so there will be reviews. However, it's really important to take care of the reviews. It's said that up towards 80% of consumers check reviews before they visit a place. So that's worth remembering and making sure that you take care of the reviews. And if you do get negative feedback, well, why is it happening, and can you do anything about it?
Absolutely. When we are buying an item on Amazon or something, we always go for the reviews and to see if the people who actually purchased that item before, if they liked it, if it's indeed the way they presented it. Do you agree that reviews are good for the business if we can take care of them, if we have the capacity to address all the clients and try to bring them on and just solve their problems, right?
Definitely. And as you just mentioned, what we do when we are shopping for products, and it's the same going to a restaurant for the first time. You want to know what's going on there, and if there's anything worth noting, or should you choose another spot. So it's super important.
we are here in the business of locations and of course location marketing. How do reviews look like in location when we are doing location marketing? So basically, when we are to a specific or we visit a specific location, we can leave a review that is just about that location and not the brand, right? And then there are the brand locations.
Exactly. So I thought we would look at 3 different networks today. So we'll have a look at Facebook, Google, and Trustpilot reviews.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so let's take a look at my screen. So the first screen we will have a look at is Google and how they handle reviews. So here we have a list of different reviews for a company. So Google use a 5-star system, where 1 is the bottom end of a review, so a bad review, and then 5 stars is the very best that a company can get. And Google have also built a whole community surrounding reviews, but also local information, so people can become a local guide. And these are trusted people by Google who leave a lot of reviews on different companies, as well as do a lot of other things for the Google community.
Precisely, and as you can see here, people can even upload pictures of their actually customer experience from their point of view of what the service looks like in that location, which is really interesting. It's just like we just mentioned in e-commerce, like Amazon. People usually leave pictures of the items. Here is exactly the same. You were mentioning before, businesses will get reviews regardless they want them or not. People are judgmental, of course. But why do you think customers have these do actually spend their time into going to these platforms and leave a review? What's in it for them?
I think people want to speak their mind, whether it's good or bad. People want to share their experience, not only with the closest friends or family, but when this option is available, people will be prepared to let other people know what they think about companies and local spots, as well as we mentioned, products as well.
Absolutely. So this is Google. It's, as you mentioned, it's a community where people can actually speak their minds of when they visit a location. There are other 2 big platforms, Facebook and Trustpilot, as you mentioned. So let's see how Trustpilot works. Trustpilot is very well known. It's a platform that has been in the business for a long time. So Malin, here we are seeing a company in Trustpilot that people can actually, the people in the marketing teams of this company and other companies can actually engage with their customers through the platform and reply them. And if it's a bad review, they can say, they can forward them to the customer service to try to solve the problem. If it's a good review, they can thank them to that for that review. What is the difference between the reviews on Google and the reviews here in Trustpilot?
So first of all, Trustpilot has always been known for reviews on a brand level, but they recently released so that people can leave reviews on local levels. So that's fairly new, and there's not a lot of companies that have started with that yet. We have at PinMeTo, of course. So that's super important.
On top of the wave, always.
Yeah, exactly. But then it all comes down to what kind of, there's so many networks where people can leave reviews. So these are the main ones when it comes to mixed businesses. So yeah, Google, Facebook, Trustpilot. And then of course we have more specific places like booking.com, Airbnb, hotels.com. where people leave reviews on one specific industry. So, like, all reviews are important, and there will always be people looking at reviews. So you might as well make sure you have reviews everywhere if you can, because you never know where people will find your business or look at your business.
Absolutely. And it's interesting that Trustpilot now has this feature of going local, which is very, very awesome. Let's check then how they look like on Facebook.
So on Facebook, you can find the reviews in its own tab on every local page. And Facebook doesn't work like the others. So the others have a 5-star system. Facebook instead calls reviews for recommendations. So a person either recommends a spot or they do not recommend it. So it's only a yay or nay question. But this is what it looks like.
Is this option is this something that a business can opt in and out, or it's mandatory for a business to have these recommendations on?
No, so on Facebook you can turn this feature off.
Okay. I was just thinking, I think this is important because, of course, in the business we can get bad reviews. We've seen these 3 platforms, Google, Trustpilot, and Facebook. We get the bad review. We are a business. We get the bad review. Can I delete it?
No, you can't.
Okay.
You can flag it if there's cursing in it, or it's like really attacking a person or someone from your personnel. Then you're able to flag it. But generally, like when you're looking at reviews, you want to be transparent with them. It's okay having bad reviews as long as you show the customers that you're doing something about it. Of course, good reviews, you always want good reviews, but it's hard to keep everyone satisfied. So the bad reviews, they will be there, and make sure that you follow up on them.
What do you think is the best practice of a strategy to manage reviews across all of these services, or these major services?
So the first one is make sure you own your business information on these major networks, especially.
Yeah, which a lot of times businesses don't claim their own locations and etc. And that's a big problem. Yeah.
Once you've claimed your business, the most important thing is start handling your reviews today. So you might have hundreds or 1,000 reviews from a couple of years ago. You don't really need to think about those now. Reviews are like fresh produce. They do become outdated pretty fast. So I would focus on the ones coming in today, and from there, get a grip, find a way of how you want to maintain reviews. It's super important to actually just respond to them. Like, make sure that your customers that do leave reviews, that they feel heard. And if it's a negative review, we'll let them know that you're there and you want to change things, and you want to make sure they get a better experience next time.
Yeah, I've been working in branding for a long time in several companies, and also in personal websites and stuff like that. And it's always interesting how people engage with these reviews from the point of view that usually when we get a very good comment, or it's just like managing social media. When you get a good comment, we usually don't, we are happy about it, but we don't say anything. But when we get a bad comment, we actually engage with that. And it's not the case. We actually need to thank people if they leave a 5-star review, for example, or a 10-star review, or the maximum review, or a good review, because that matters to that person. It at least gives them gives them the perception that there's someone in the other side. And engaging with bad reviews, now this is a question that I think is super relevant. I'm going to a coffee and I give a bad review because I didn't like the coffee was cold. Now remembering an episode from Curb Your Enthusiasm, the coffee was cold. I leave a bad review, and I will answer that person. I apologize. We will do our best to give you a hot coffee the next time. But here's please get in touch with us, and the next time the coffee is on us. Can that person change their review?
Yes, they can. And that's what you want them to do, of course. So that's a whole goal of turning people's opinions over. Like a bad review doesn't have to be a bad review forever. You can change people's minds. So that's why it's really important to allow them to be heard.
And Malin, going local, people go to their locations, they use their services the way they want. What is the state of mind that a user, a client, is when they go to a platform and leave a review? What does that say? And what does that mean?
It could be a bit of everything. So if somebody has had a really negative experience, of course, the message that comes out might be more negative and worse than it actually was, because people are emotional at the time. But it could also be the opposite. So people have had a fantastic experience, and the review could be really, really good for that moment. So it's a hard question to ask. There's no real answer to it. People do it like in all states of minds, and then of course with the Google local guide community, people leave reviews because they want to leave reviews. So
that's why it's so important to manage them.
Exactly, it really is, and especially that when the networks open up for it and really give the companies a great tool to be able to handle your business community and your customers.
Absolutely, and to turn bad reviews into good reviews, and that's the way it should be. And we can actually do that. That can actually happen, to turn reviews over on Google, Trustpilot, and Facebook. That's in all platforms. This is possible.
Exactly, it is.
So, Malin, major takeaways from today's conversation is that reviews are super important at a brand level and local level. Now that Trustpilot also have the possibility for people to leave their reviews on the local level and for the businesses in their streets, for example, and not just the brand itself. It's very important to manage reviews. Super important to manage reviews for the brand perception. To turn reviews over, bad reviews can, as you mentioned, a bad review doesn't need to be bad forever. It can be turned if you have the capacity to engage with the client, to solve the problem that the client is mentioning in that bad review, understanding why he did that. And brands should also be capable to understand that people are people, and that they are judgmental, and their state of mind can have a lot of conditionants, so to say. We don't know what that person is feeling that they to leave that kind of review, but it's our responsibility as a brand to understand that why that happened and try to move it over. It's a customer service situation here. It's another, and the final takeaway is that PinMeTo, yes, it's capable of managing these reviews at the brand and local level, right?
Indeed, yes, we can.
I was just waiting for you to say yes. PinMeTo is capable.
Yes, we can.
Let's just briefly talk about our listen and respond platform, a part of our platform, which is our reputation management a part in PinMeTo. What people can do there?
Yep. So of course, now we looked and we talked about all the local pages and how many there are out there. So we looked at 3 networks now, and if you then have, I don't know, 10, 20 locations, then you've already got 30 to 60 places to look at and to handle the reviews. So what PinMeTo does, or what our tool does, is combine all of these reviews in one place. So you get an overview and you can handle them through our platform.
Absolutely. In a very, very easy way, just like if it was a chat room where you can answer your clients and get their feedback. This is really awesome. I think reviews are great for the business if you can actually really manage them well. So focus on the recent reviews and what people are saying right now about the company, because what matters is today. Don't go 2 years back and try to solve a problem of a client that had 2 years ago. The client doesn't even remember that, probably. But this is super, super interesting. Malin, we'll be back for sure with another episode.
I'm sure I will, and I hope I will.
Yes, of course. And we'll bring another a very interesting topic about location marketing, and about not just location marketing. I think these reviews are at a brand level. It's something that is super, it's something super important for marketing itself and branding. Super, super great. Malin, thank you so much for joining me in another episode of PinPoints.
Thank you for having me again.
Of course, PinPoints, the ins and outs of location marketing, will be back in the next episode very, very soon. Probably next week is how soon we are. We are so great in doing this. Next week. We'll be back next week for sure. Thank you so much for joining us. And manage your locations the way I wanted to say something in the end that is fun. We'll see you next week for sure. Don't forget, leave us a good or a bad comment. We will for sure get back to you. And leave us a review on our podcast on iTunes. That's a review. So yeah, we'll be in touch for sure. Thank you so much for joining us this week. We'll be back very, very soon. Bye.